Going, everyone. Okay, so this is another lecture on, secrets of money, secrets of money magic. I don't know if you want to call it that, but the bottom line is I'm going to share some secrets today with you that are going to, if you apply them, are going to make sure that you make more money. Money is going to come into your life, right? Money is a subject like any other. When you understand it, when you fully understand it, it is under your control, and you will be at cause. That's the goal. I mean, you don't have to be a billionaire, you don't have to be a millionaire, you don't have to be rich, but you want to be in control when it comes to the subjects in your life, at least when it comes to the bigger areas, right? And one of those is money. We deal with money. Most people only have negative emotions when it comes to money, and that is part of the problem, right? But let me help you resolve that problem, okay? So money consists of, let me write this down, okay? I need to be able to screen share, please. So, let me screen share. Okay, so let's begin. Can you all see my screen? Yeah, can you see it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so money consists of three different parts, okay? The first one is exchange. The second one is attraction. The third one is strategy, okay? There's a typo. Exchange, attraction, and strategy. Those are the three parts that money consists of. And I'm going to cover all of those today, okay? So the first one is split into three other parts, okay? So exchange consists of money is energy that flows to, is energy that follows the laws of energy, okay? Money is energy that follows the laws of energy. What does that mean? There are laws of energy. Can somebody here name a law of energy? What is a law of energy? Okay, then I'm going to cover that. The laws of energy. Okay, so when we look at the laws of energy, we're looking at something like electricity. Electricity is energy, right? Electricity only exists if electrons are moving. Okay, they're moving from atom to atom, from molecule to molecule, and in the process, there is energy created, right? When you look at windmills, right? Wind energy requires wind to flow, right? So the point is, one of the laws of energy is that it needs to be moving, right? So money does not exist unless currency is moving, right? So you can work against those laws and prevent money to come to you, right? If you try to hold on to it and can't let it flow in your life, then it's not going to come to you, right? Another law of money, another law of energy. What would that be? The law of energy is, you can't just store money or energy for the sake of storing it. Okay, that's why you need your purpose. And I'm going to talk about the purpose in just a second, right? Just storing money for the sake of storing money is going to be a problem. Remember what I was talking about. Some of you have been here during the last lecture, right? We were talking about waves, right? Everything in the universe is a wave, right? Now, the sound or the wave or the frequency of money is really high. It's harmonious, right? Now, what happens if you try to store energy? If you try to contract it, you slow down the vibration, right? And the vibration that you slow down then is going to cause, I mean, what would happen if you create a battery and you store too much energy inside of the battery? Any battery has a limit, right? So what's going to happen is if you're trying to hoard money, if you're trying to hold on to it too much, it's going to destroy you, right? Everyone who's greedy, any person that's greedy has a lot of cracks in their life, usually with their health. And that is the result of that. The health problems are actually the result of the energy that is stored somewhere else. It's an condensation of energy, right? So money is an energy, and therefore it needs to be treated according to the laws of energy. Energy needs to flow, right? Then number two, money is a voucher for delivered goods and services. Yeah. Money is a voucher for delivered goods and services. Yeah. You will only get money if you deliver goods and services. Also, money gains its value because you can take it and exchange it. You can exchange it with another person. Okay, so they trust that they can use the same amount of money to buy some other stuff with it. Okay, so money is an idea. That gains its value through trust. Okay. So if you don't have enough money in your life, you need to look at those three definitions here. Okay. Exchange, attraction, strategy. Exchange, attraction, strategy. So let me put it like this. You got to put yourself into a position where you can exchange. In order to be able to exchange, you have to understand that money follows the laws of energy. It means that, first of all, you got to get it out of your head that it's hard to get to money because people love spending money. It's natural for money to flow. Now you got to figure out how you make it flow to you. Yeah. And then you have to understand that money is a voucher for delivered goods and services. Now, what does that mean? It means that you can't make money. You can't pull money in. You got to put goods and services out there. And as a result of that, money is going to come to you, right? And also, money is an idea that gains its value through trust. All right, so you gotta be trustworthy in order to attract that type of energy. Yeah. Those three principles, okay, exchange, attraction, and strategy, they work in unison. They work, interactively, and they work synergistically. All right. What do I mean by that? Let's put it like that. You can't deliver goods and services without attention, for instance, okay? So attraction is a very important point, okay? Let me put it like this. Let's explain it in the following way. You walk through a mall, or a person, anyone, is walking through a mall, or let's say you are walking through a mall, and you see a very nice-looking suit or dress, right? You see it through the window and you walk in there. Now your attention has been captured, right? Now the attention stays on the item, you put it on, it fits. Now your attention is still on the item, right? And as your attention stays on there, eventually you will buy it, okay? So you have to understand that money and attention are interconnected, right? Let's look at people that don't even deliver value. They don't even deliver value, but they got a lot of attention, right? A lot of celebrities do that, the Kardashians or whoever, right? They don't really deliver value, but they got a lot of attention on them. And they are billionaires. You see what I mean? So attention and money are connected in some way or another, right? Ideally, it is beneficial attention, right? So the hierarchy is the following, okay? Not having attention on you. The second best is having negative attention on you. And the best is having positive attention on you, right? So you got to figure out how to generate attention, which is what we call attraction, all right? And you can literally measure, like the more attention, the more money you're going to be able to make with what you're offering, all right? Next. The strategy part is essentially a booster. Okay, so when you got the first 2 points down, if you got exchange and attraction down, the strategy is going to help you to 10x that, right? Because the strategy is essentially, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. The strategy is a way of boosting the results. How do you do this stuff, like attracting attention and delivering and exchanging in the most intelligent way so that you maximize results? All right, so that's what strategy is. But strategy without the first 2 points is useless. All right, so remember that money flows where there's positive attention. So you have to figure out how to generate attention. It doesn't have to be a massive amount, but you have to figure out a way to create attention on you or on what you want to deliver in order for money to come your way, right? Yeah, so let's talk about strategy a little bit, right? Strategy, the etymology of the word, and historically it's connected to military history, all right? So the etymology means general, right? It's a word that means how to lead an army, right? So it's about intelligently, most intelligently, with the loss of the least resources, accomplishing a goal. Another point is, guys, in order to create money, in order to attract money, you need inflow, right? Sorry, you need outflow first. But most people try to generate inflow. When people want to bring money to them, they're looking at inflow of energy. Inflow of energy. However, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. See, we talked about the first principles here. Money is energy that follows the laws of energy. Inflow equals outflow, right? The laws of energy here. Inflow, one of the laws of energy is inflow equals outflow. I forgot to mention that, right? So if you want inflow, you first have to generate outflow. Yeah. The outflow will eventually generate the inflow. So how do you create that outflow, all right? Because if we say that outflow equals inflow, yeah, I'm sure you want to create as much inflow as possible, right? Talking about attraction here. Now, how do you create enough outflow or as much as possible? And that's what leads us to motivation, all right? Motivation, and by the way, guys, if you want to understand a word or a concept, look at the etymology. It will open up the definition, and not just the definition, but it will really show you how to apply the concept behind the word, okay? So when we look at motivation, motivation comes from the Latin word movere, which means to move. It means movement. So how do you get yourself to move? How does that work? There are different types of motivations, okay? Different types of motivations. The lowest motivation is money, okay? Most people think they want money. Well, actually, people want to cover their living expenses. That's really what people want, okay? And after that, money is no longer a motivator. That's why most people don't have that much, because you don't work for money. What you work for is your freedom of worry. That's really what you want, right? But that itself is a very, very low motivator, and it's not going to allow you to create a lot of outflow to generate the inflow that you want, right? So money itself is the lowest motivation when it comes to money, right? And then we got things like self-interest. That would be something like, personal growth. That would be something like acquiring status. Those are usually the people that rise up in the hierarchy of a company. Okay, so they have like some sort of a motivation that is ego-based. It's essentially, I just want to have the title of CEO. I just want to be, I just want to make lieutenant or whatever the fuck they want to do, right? So self-interest, or maybe they just think they want to learn something. Maybe that's their motivation. Okay, So it's something that is focused on self, it's self-interest. And then the third one, and by the way, they all get stronger and stronger and stronger, right? Money is weaker than self-interest. Self-interest is weaker than conviction, all right? Conviction, a belief, something that you believe in, right? A personal conviction. So, what would that be? You believe that people should have this knowledge, right? You believe that other people could benefit from it, and it is something that they have to have, right? And you want to produce that. That's an even stronger motivation, right? And then the fourth one, which is the strongest, is responsibility, all right? That's the strongest motivation. So where does that come into play? Would you agree with me that if you're in a war situation and it's literally life or death, but you still go back and help your comrade to get out of the negative situation, that's a strong act, right? And the only way people can get to do that is because they feel the responsibility of doing that. Money definitely wouldn't motivate a person to do that. Self-interest wouldn't motivate a person to do that. Conviction wouldn't motivate a person to do that. It's solely personal responsibility, meaning it is my responsibility to take care of someone. You know, like Navy SEALs motivate themselves in a way where it's absolutely not an option to leave a fellow, Marine behind, or a Navy SEAL, right? You can't leave them behind. It's your responsibility to leave them behind, even if you die in the process, right? Why? Because all the others would do the same thing for them as well, right? So this is the strongest form of motivation. Now, in order to become financially free, guys, you have to find your own personal motivation. It's impossible to do it without. I promise you, it's impossible. If you don't know what drives you deep down, you have no chance of becoming financially free. I guarantee you. All right. Maybe the chances are not zero, but they're 0.0005 or something like that. It's a ridiculously small number. However, if you find your purpose, it is very, very likely that you become financially free. Okay. They were looking at statistics, right? And they followed high potentials. High potentials are people that were like high performers in school and college, high IQ, all that stuff, right? And they split them into two groups, right? One group had 100 people, the other group, no, I think the one group had 1,000 people, the other group had 1,000 people too, right? And they split them into two groups and they asked them for their motivations, right? The first group were people that were solely motivated by money. Okay, so they were like, okay, what do you want to do with your life? Well, I want to be rich, so I want to make money. That's the first group. The second group were people that just had a great vision. They wanted to put something into the world. They had some sort of a conviction, or they felt responsible to bring something into the world, to change the world in some way or another, to make it better, right? And then 20 years later, they went back to interview those people, and then what they found was incredible. It was really incredible, okay? So of the group of people that only wanted to be rich, exactly one person had become a millionaire. So 1,199 people had not reached financial freedom, right? Now let's look at the other group. In the other group, the people that just wanted to create something great, that had a vision for their life, and wanted to create something that helps the world or makes it a better place, 1,500 of those had become multimillionaires. Sorry, no, 1,550 or something like that, 1,500, some crazy number, right? 1,550, and 50 people, they had not become rich, but they were at least financially comfortable. Okay, so you tell me, what are the odds to become actually financially free if your motivation is money? It's literally almost impossible. Okay, so the chances are really, really well, stacked against you. All right. But if you follow your purpose, it's almost certain that you're going to become financially free. This is why it's so important, guys, to find your purpose. I keep telling people, find your purpose. I keep telling people, look for your purpose. Very few people are listening, but it is literally the difference between a mediocre life and you thriving and having everything that you want. It's your purpose, all right? Because the purpose allows you to create all of this outflow, which will then result in an inflow, yeah? If you don't have a strong enough motivation, if you don't have a purpose, which is the battery that drives you, a small obstacle is going to crush you. A small obstacle is going to stop you from doing things, right? So you have to find your beingness, okay? Everything in this world works like this, okay? Be, do, and have. The real sequence when it comes to your life is being, doing, and having. You're gonna be, do, and have. The problem is that most people focus on doing and having, doing and having, doing and having. But when you have the right beingness, the right actions and the right possessions are an automatic results. Who are you? Now, this beingness consists of three different parts, okay? Consists of three different parts. It consists of what is my personal goal? Secondly, why do I want this goal? And third, what are my fundamental values? When you figure this out, you will know exactly if you're in the right place or not, okay? Because doing, what does that mean? Doing is usually your job. Are you doing the right thing to make money? Probably not, right? But why are you still doing it? Because you think you have to do it. I'm going to go into that in just a little bit, right? But you have to figure out who you are, the beingness. That's crucial. So what is your goal? Why do I want this goal? What are my fundamental values? When you are clear about that, certain actions are going to happen automatically, right? Now, you already have a beingness, but you haven't clarified it yet. If you have a different beingness than what you are currently doing, you will stop or destroy yourself. There's no worse enemy than having yourself as an enemy, okay? Why? Imagine this, all right? So the person thinks that they think they have to work as an accountant, all right? Have to, have to work as an accountant. That's what they think they have to do to pay the bills, right? And let's say that's 52% of their energy. But deep down, they are an artist, okay? Deep down, they know they're like an artistic person. That's the complete opposite of being an accountant, right? So that's 44%. How much energy do they have left to create the things in their life? 4%. Where do the 96% go? They're spent on the internal conflict that the person experiences on a constant basis. They hate their job, they hate their life, they're in a bad mood, they feel like, oh, nothing's working out for me, blah, 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 all this shit, right? you have to find a way to align your doing with your beingness. Okay, so you have to figure out your purpose, and your real purpose is way more complicated than just those things, right? It's not easy to find your purpose, but that's the beginning. You first have to understand who you are. As you understand who you are, you will know what you want to do. So, okay, somebody who's deep down, who's an artist, they know they can't be an accountant or shouldn't be an accountant, but instead they think they have to work a job that they don't like to pay the bills. Maybe that's what they saw from their parents, whatever. And the result is going to be conflict, right? Now, what's going to happen? There's an enormous conflict. In the best cases, the person is going to have a shitty career, mediocre at best. They're going to hate every single day of it, and they're going to be miserable. They're probably going to have cancer or some shit that kills them early, and it's not a good situation. Why? Because they have all of this internal conflict going on, right? Worst case, because they want to be an artist deep down, they're going to make themselves go bankrupt so that they can start over as an artist. So they're now a homeless artist. Well, hey, I saw all of these homeless people being able to draw shit on the floor. I want to be a homeless person because they at least can do their art. You think that's funny? That's actually how things work. That's how people end up in those situations. You get what I mean? Because their own self, their own subconscious is their worst enemy. I tell you what happens once you align those things. Once you align your true beingness with your actions or with what you do, the universe is literally going to support you. You're going to run into the right people. Things are just going to work out for you. Things are just going to work out for you because now you got 100% working on in your favor, right? So it's super important that you find out your beingness and you find out your purpose. So, so trust me, you don't want to be your own worst enemy. So you have to find your purpose. Next, let me cover something else here. Let's talk a little bit about strategy more, okay? So talk more about strategy. So like I said earlier, strategy is about having the most impact with the least effort, okay? Having the most impact with the least effort, using the resources in the most intelligent way that you can. So how to make money with the right strategy, okay? Very, very generally, or I'm gonna keep it very, very broad, okay? So the first thing that you do is you have to find a pain or a problem in a very narrow niche. Yeah, ideally a blue ocean market. Okay. Second, you solve that problem through an innovation. Now, three, you cooperate with others that have the same target market, but they're already established, right? Yeah. Cooperate with others that have the same target market, right? So, what would be examples of this? What did Jeff Bezos do? Okay, Jeff Bezos used a very, very smart strategy. In the beginning, he started with books, only books, very narrow niche. He was only selling books, nothing else. And once he had collected all of those email addresses and contacts from like pretty much the whole world, then he started to branch out into other areas. If he had started with an everything store right away, his competition would have crushed him, right? His competition would have crushed him. So, one of my own products, one of my own solutions that are found for this, right? Find a pain problem in a narrow niche. Some years ago, I think almost 2 years ago, I read an article about the pain that people experience when they go through a breakup. That's a pain that needs resolution. When people are in pain, they want to find a solution. So what do they want when they are in pain about that? They want their ex back. So I went ahead and bought the domain bringyourexback.com, and then I created a course on how to bring your ex back. All right. That's step 2, solve the problem with an innovation. Innovation sounds like a big word, but it's literally just the solution for the problem. And then, well, cooperate with others that have the same target market. I didn't do that, but what I did was I started ads. And to this day, I'm selling products. I'm selling the product still. And it's a nice income stream. And it costs me almost nothing in terms of time. It's like 2 hours a day for like 2 weeks. And now it keeps running, it keeps running, it keeps running. So the point is, you need to build little machines that keep running for you, right? But that's a different topic. Maybe I'm going to talk about that in another lecture, right? But remember, guys, money consists of 3 parts: exchange, attention, and strategy. You gotta figure out the exchange. You gotta figure out how to generate attention, and then strategy. Like if you figure out those 2, the first 2 ones, you're gonna do much better than the majority of people, for sure. And then the third part is the turbo boost. It's like it's a 10xing mechanism. Yeah. So strategy then makes everything more powerful. So those are the 3 parts that you need. All right. Do we have some questions?
Yes. How do I know if what I currently do is, if I am on my purpose, or what I do is not my purpose? I mean,
How do you know if what you do is on your purpose or is not on your purpose?
no. How do I know if what I currently do is my purpose actually, or I'm not on my purpose, and I do something that is not my purpose?
Okay. Well, you have to figure out be, do, and have. Okay. So what you're currently doing is the do. Okay. That's your job. Please mute yourself again. Okay. So your current job is the doing that you do on a daily basis to make money. Now, your beingness cannot be contrary to your purpose. Your purpose is a little bit harder to figure out than your beingness, right? But you can figure out your beingness very fast, because remember, your beingness consists of, please mute yourself. Your beingness consists of 3 parts. And you can do that in 5 minutes, okay? It's different from your purpose, but your beingness cannot contradict your purpose, okay? So by figuring out your beingness, you know if your doing is in alignment with your purpose. So you have, what's my goal? When I say what's your goal, it's not some stupid goal like I want to be rich, okay? It's what do you want to actually see change in the world? That would be a goal, right? When you die, what is it that you want to leave behind? It could be something like a legacy. That's a goal. That's a goal. But it has to be something better than I want to buy a Porsche. Okay. Why do I have this goal? Why do I have this goal? So why do I have this goal? So example, you have the goal, I want to leave behind a legacy. Why do I have this goal? I have this goal because I think it's important to think in a multi-generational manner, right? And then what are my fundamental values? Fundamental values, let's say your fundamental values are, one of my fundamental values is health. right? But your occupation is I work at in a liquor store. You're gonna sabotage yourself. So you're doing this. You're doing is in contradiction to your being. Does that make sense? So what you have to do is you have to try to figure out your beingness, and then you will know if your current occupation is in alignment with it or not. Right? So let's say what's my goal? Your goal is I want to live as long as I want. I mean, as long as I can. Why do I have this goal? I have this goal because well, I want to I saw my dad die very early on. He died in his early 40s, and I saw what that does to families, and I just don't want anyone else to go through that anymore, right? Boom. That could be that's why you have this goal. And then what are your fundamental values? In this case, it would be health, longevity, and prosperity, happiness, blah blah blah, right? So those are the fundamental values. And then your doing this would be, and let's say you work working at a fast food restaurant would be contrary to that. But working at a gym or being a coach or something like that, a fitness coach, that would be completely in alignment with that. And then you would be successful as a fitness coach, 100%. You see? So that's what it is about. You have to align your beingness with your doingness, and it will actually automatically align. But if you're in the wrong place, you're going to fuck yourself up with that. So your beingness is already there. You just have to figure it out. And then you have to put yourself into the right situation. Happens all the time, man. There are like people that are losers in one position, and you put them into a different position, and they start thriving, and they're like high performers. It's because now the beingness is in alignment with what they do. Happens all the time.
If I'm successful in what I do, in what I'm doing, and I perform high performance in my job, that means that I'm on my purpose, you think?
Well, it could be.
Okay.
Could be. You could also work yourself to death, and be like sad all the time, depressed, go to work and still do the job. That could also be the case. But and you like, okay, let's say your money is in order, but as you do that, remember that energy that you generate, all this negative energy that you're generating is going to be destroying the rest of your life. So your relationship is probably going to be, your relationship life is going to suck, your health is going to suck, all of that stuff. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We have some more questions. Okay, good. Well, I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to put it up on, or it's going to be put up on YouTube. Yeah. And it's probably worth watching it again, because I was rather fast, but it's definitely worth it. There's a lot of stuff in there. Okay. Now, if you want me to do another one with some more content, let me know with thumbs up. Okay. You have to understand, guys. The audience is always the sun. I'm the moon. Sun's the moon. The more feedback you give me, the more I can reflect back and put out content and give you more value. Okay. So you got to let me know if you want that or not. So show me thumbs up if you want more content like this. That's weird. Why are these thumbs up disappearing? Why are they disappearing? Is that normal that thumbs up disappear? Yeah? Oh, okay. I see. Okay, good. All right then. Talk to you soon. Hope you got something out of this piece. Good luck.